Hello, hello, hello. What ho! Welcome back to another exciting adventure of UberCaste Conversations on Travis Finley. I'm your host, Travis Finley. These conversations are opportunities for me to experience love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, selflessness. Yes. I have such beautiful conversations with people, and every once in a while they let me record them. And so this is a recording with Alea. This is a new concept that I would love for you people to share as much as you possibly can as we simply listen in on conversations about people's lives. And so if you think about the Ubercast podcast, think of it as a podcast about nothing and everything all at once. So thank you for listening. If you find this interesting at all, please share. Please share this content and poke your nose around the other playlists that I have. See if anything else strikes your fancy. I'm trying everything. So, all right, my name's Travis Finley. I'm your host. I'll see you next time.
Well, whatever. Take the compliment and just run with it. So, all right. So we're talking with Alea and about names and wherever we were just going right now.
Well, yeah, you asked if I.
Oh, if you've ever dropped this, this is to me, it's like a conversation piece, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got it in your back pocket if anybody ever asks you, you know exactly, because a lot of people don't know what their names mean.
Yeah, that's true.
But
yeah, so yeah, my name is spelled like a famous Bollywood actress, but my parents didn't pronounce it that way. But when I lived in India, when I was
and
21,
you lived in India?
Yeah.
This just gets better.
I lived there for a year when I was 21. And
Wait. Why did you go to India?
I got an internship after college.
Okay.
Working in anti-human trafficking work. So I moved to Mumbai and did that for a year, which was incredible.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Was this field ops, or were you in the background doing important things? I'm saying more office stuff, or were you in the trenches trying to save people from slavery?
So we would come. So I was more on the office side because my job was I went to school for journalism. So my job was essentially writing stories about all the work that we were doing,
Okay.
and then also the organization I worked with is called International Justice Mission, and they do a lot of government work. So they train police officers on how to do investigations. They train judges on what the laws are, because India has weird rules where they move judges around all the time. So sometimes you'll get a judge that hasn't done criminal law ever. So they are not familiar with the laws. And then we also would train the essentially social services in Mumbai. So I would usually come in after the girls had been rescued, and work through writing.
And are they all Indian, or is this interracial peoples? Because human trafficking doesn't know any race, I'm sure.
True, yeah.
But I just was wondering if you saw any cross pollination or anything like that.
Sometimes we would get girls that had been brought in from Nepal or Bangladesh, but mainly it was girls from other parts of India, and stuff like that. So yeah, it was really intense.
Wow, that's I can imagine. So this is what I find amazing about these conversations. Is I have another avenue to go down, and my next turn in our conversation is what made you interested in this field? What was it that drove you to say this is I'm going to do this for whatever?
So it's a little bit heavy. Is that okay?
Only if you feel comfortable saying whatever you need to say. Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
So when I was in high school, a girl who was 2 years older than me and really good friends with my older sister, was killed by a previously convicted sex offender. And so from there, I kind of spiraled into learning about sex crimes and how prevalent those family friendly
Right.
part of San Diego County.
San Diego? I'm from Ventura County.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So you grew up in San Diego County?
Yes.
Okay.
And so essentially, like, the girl, her name was Chelsea, her parents, after everything that happened, like, they fought a lot to change the laws in California.
Wow.
He should have been back in prison on parole violations at the time that he murdered Chelsea. So things like that.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So that kind of, like, at 15, obviously, like, really changed my, like, perspective.
Okay.
And I ended up, researching sex crimes a lot and kind of learning about what's been going on around the world. And San Diego is a bit of a hub in terms of U.S. sex trafficking, but it's also one of the only cities that's really done a lot of research on our numbers and things like that.
Okay.
So there was a lot of information there, and then as I was kind of going through college, I was looking at options for how I could get some work experience and also do something that I cared about. So ended up moving to India.
So what are you doing now?
Left turn. Right now I work in liquor sales and marketing.
Okay.
Got into it through like a family connection. Because I went back to school, got my bachelor's degree. So that international management, essentially like an MBA program, but I did it in Switzerland because I didn't want to pay.
Oh my God!
Here.
You gotta be kidding me.
Switzerland. It was so much cheaper.
Shut up! I don't even care. The fact that it was in Switzerland is like amazing. I can imagine
it was
that
really
experience.
Cool. It was a really fun year. It was during COVID, so I didn't get to travel around Europe very much, but I did do a lot of hikes. There's lots of mountains in Switzerland.
So then, okay, you've had, like you said, 2 examples that are bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, where are you going to be in 20 years?
So, I am actually quitting my job in 2 weeks. And I have been interviewing for a couple of tech-based anti-human trafficking organizations.
Okay.
So organizations that specifically combat like child sexual abuse material online, and like streaming things on the dark web.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine the darkness that you're going to be in. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I can watch movies sometimes. I mean, I can watch movies, right? I can watch people going to war and battling and shooting and killing sci-fi, this sci-fi, whatever like that. But if you show me a documentary where people that are actually having horror, I cannot watch that.
It's
like,
hard.
It would just crush me.
Yeah, it can feel that way. But you focus on the one, right? You focus on the life that comes out. And like when I was in India, like it was crazy. Like we would rescue these girls. Some of them were really young. But I think what was almost more impressive to me were the ones who that was all that they had known for years. And they would come out of it, and within, 6 months, it was like they were just a normal teenage girl again. Like, you would never know what they were going through. And, of course, I'm sure the trauma.
Yeah, that psychological trauma is going to come back somehow.
Of course, it comes back. And
oh, my God, I can't imagine that.
Things like that. But when you would meet them, like, they would just, especially with my name, like, they would always ask me, like, if I watched any Alea movies and, like, all that kind of stuff. Like, they really were excited.
Oh, so now I know what those glass sounds are. Those things are. I know what that is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. You know what would be funny is if you had a short, okay, this is going to be beyond your years, I'm sure. So I grew up in the 80s.
Okay.
Michael J. Fox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Family Ties was his sitcom, right? So there was a shtick that he had where you could drop an amount of change on the table
Mm-hmm.
in your pocket, like reach in your pocket. You got change in your pocket? Yeah. Reach in your pocket, take it out, throw it on the table. 37 cents. He just hears it.
Whoa.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to be like that, like with whatever. Oh yeah. So then I was saying, so like you have somebody who's like, knows his liquor, and you're like, okay, which bottle is this? You're like, ting, or like, oh, that's the maker's mark. Da 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 da. So like,
I'm sure there's people like that. People
Right?
get real crazy about all of this stuff. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I think it's interesting sometimes to learn about the process of how it's made, but I don't care that much about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So we'll see what happens in 20 years. I have no idea.
Right. Well, it was interesting at least that you answered the way that you did because you still brought it back to what I think is, your heart's.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's why I got my master's degree, and then, it's been great to have a job for sure the last couple of years. But
the only thing I'm going to do in the last minute to rock your world if you're just a sleeper and you haven't come out yet, it's in the closet but it's there. Your greatest opposition. Okay, I'm trying to like this is where the dramatic in part of the movie where it's just like it just narrows in on your face like oh my God, what is he going to say? In this important field that you are in, and I believe that is absolutely important, your greatest enemy, opposition, conflict, wherever you go, is the government.
Oh, yeah. That I do.
And I don't know what that kind of information would do, but as long as you kind of know who you're really fighting against, because like ultimately you're saving those women. But the government's like, yeah, whatever, take them. We got 10 million more, girl.
Yeah,
like,
it's really crazy.
Like they show us these things in the movies, but I think that all of the movies are based on reality.
Oh yeah.
So then you just have breeding farms.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm sure there's all kinds of stuff, and it's definitely wild. I think I saw some of that in India. Like you would find one good person, right? In the government who was willing to help and be a part of what we were doing, and then no one else was doing that.
Yeah.
So you got to find the people who actually got into government jobs for the right reasons, which is hard to find.
Well, if your exuberant personality is anything about who you really are as a person, you're a beautiful person.
Oh, thanks.
And I hope that you have just an amazing life and
thank you.
This challenging.
Cool.
Yeah, see, look, I'm putting this up on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Because I do this all the time. I have these amazing conversations, and I think to myself, I would listen to that conversation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No one's doing this.
Yeah, it's cool.
I call it the UberCaste.
I like it. That's cool.
All right.
Sweet.
I hope you have a blue sky day.
Thank you. I'm gonna grab.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I forgot. I'll open it and close it for you.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure. All right, she can't hear me. She is adorable. Absolutely goddamn adorable. If I could go back in time. Oh my God! And do what, Travis? You'd have to completely change your age.
All right. Well, you made it to the end. What did you think? Did you enjoy that conversation? I have conversations that I consider enjoyable and invigorating and enthralling like that all the time. And I've recorded them, and I think that they would be so interesting, for so many people to hear these conversations. Like, I don't know about you, but this is like where this concept came from. Is that I've had so many conversations with friends one-on-one, and I think the conversation is so amazing. I'm like, man, like no one else is hearing this conversation, and it is so good. And I had dinner with friends last year, and we did it. I got together with them twice, and the same thing. The conversations were just amazing, and I was like, this could be like the new Seinfeld thing. Like this is not hard. You just are filming life. So anyway, this is a long-winded way to wrap up this video. If you made it to the end listening to my talk with Alea, and you're here, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Hit that bell notification so that you can be notified when I go live or if I upload a new video. Okay, so before you leave, make sure that you have subscribed. Make sure you hit that bell notification so that you can be notified when I go live or when I upload new content. Then like the show, like the episode, make a comment in the comment section, and then share the content. That is how this is going to go viral. These conversations should go viral. I should be able to start affording better equipment to get better. Like, I'm so glad that the audio worked on this one, because the very next one didn't. And it was a good conversation, and you couldn't hear the other person. And I was like, I'm using the same. It just didn't make any sense. So it is what it is. It'll be what it'll be, and it was what it was. Yeah, there you go. I'm going to wrap this up. I have been your host, Travis Finley, on another exciting adventure of UberCaste Conversations. Until next time.